a filter on people. That's a first. It like automatically is putting a filter on people. How are you guys? How's everyone doing? What a question. Oh my gosh. So what happened? Why am I 30 minutes late to this? First of all, because my life has been consumed by this topic. I had to call my mom and wish her a happy birthday because I totally forgot it was her birthday today. So I had to do that. Also, I don't know what it is about, like, this has been bothering me for the weekend. A lot of stuff bothers me, obviously, but so you guys know the instance that happened on Friday with the menstrual cup. Tell me why I haven't had a period since before Enzo, right? So I was pregnant end of October of 2017. And that, like, my last period was the month before that. So I'm like, wow, it's been like 2 years since I've had a period. And when that instance happened on Friday, I just remembered thinking, obviously I had a lot of thoughts on what happened on Friday, but one of them was like, man, when am I going to get that period? I haven't had a period in forever, because I've actually been looking into the Diva Cup things. Like, I've been looking into getting the menstrual cup because I know that, like, there's poison, pretty much, cancer-causing ingredients in tampons and pads. So I'm like, I've been meaning to really look into that. Which one am I going to get? And tell me why, after all the period puns, on Saturday morning, I wake up and I get my period. Isn't that crazy? I thought it was crazy. And you guys are like, well, no, not really. I think it's crazy. But I got my period, but I haven't had a period, right? In pretty much 2 years. Except for, obviously, when, you know, after you have a baby, you kind of have a period for like 3 weeks, but that's not so much like a period. It's just, anyway, I don't even know what that means. I was trying to figure it out all weekend. Like, what could that mean? Was it because I was thinking it, that I was thinking it the entire time that it happened? And how come that doesn't happen with everything else that I think about, you know, the entire time? Like, what, maybe I should just direct my energies towards positive thoughts, and those positive things will happen. Is there something there? Because all I was thinking about was period. And yes, it's like I had manifested my period coming. Meanwhile, Jeff's just sitting back going, I know that you're thinking about all the other meanings, but what this means is that you're not pregnant. So that's, I'm like, man, I know. People are like, we can't be manifesting things. I do just find it crazy that it happened. Maybe in an ironic kind of like way at this point. It's weird. It's just whatever. I'm just throwing that out there. It's just weird. It's just weird. So anyway, I know it's Tuesday. I know I didn't really do a live yesterday. It doesn't matter, because there is more to life than this thing called Instagram. There's more to life than social media, right? You can turn your phone off and boom, you don't have to respond to anybody. You could turn your phone off and breathe, go out there, see the world. There's other people, there's other things that matter in this life, isn't there? What are your thoughts then on what happened Friday? You guys, do you think it was set up? Do you think that was completely staged? I found it interesting, to say the least, that within less than an hour of this instance happening, senators were tweeting out, you know, and it's funny because, well, those that have been following, that kind of know me, that you guys realize, right? Like, I'm a clown at heart. You guys realize this? Like, at heart, I am a complete clown. It's the way that I operate. It's the way that I get through to the next thing. The world is so cynical and dark and evil that if I don't sit back and like laugh about stuff every now and then, I'll go crazy. You realize that there are people who have gone down these rabbit holes and have gone down these really dark paths who have gone insane. And they've just gone insane. Okay? And insane meaning like they don't want to kill themselves, but they have snapped. And that is my coping mechanism. That's what I use. So clearly, I don't condone taking off your menstrual cup and throwing it at senators, right? I obviously don't do that. But then again, don't do what I'm telling you. Don't do what other people tell you to do also. Like, oh my God, I just feel like, I don't know how many times, I feel like in every single highlight that I do, even though I'm showing people, I'm just educating like, okay, let's talk about tetanus today. Let's talk about this topic. I must say multiple times throughout every highlight, do your own research. Do your own research. Like, take this information and go look into it a little bit more on your own. Because for me, that is growth. That is empowering yourself. That is keeping you equipped enough to where if this whole thing turns off, you are not looking to a stranger on the internet to guide you and show you the next steps. Hold your hand, this is what we need to do next in life, okay? Because I know that things are gonna get sloppy when you just depend on other people. Right? Anyways, what happened on Friday was insane. It was definitely a setup. But for those that are sitting back actually saying, oh my gosh, it's going to make us look terrible. Like it's a terrible PR move. Like, oh my, guys, when has the media ever painted us out to be properly functioning, human beings? When has the media ever, like mainstream media, ever pointed us out or painted us out to be well-meaning people? Okay, you will literally have thousands of parents out, hundreds, thousands, whatever, who go out, who rally, who are parents of vaccine-injured children. Okay? And the media the headline will still read vaccine skeptics at the Capitol. Have you seen even just Wikipedia? People still want to use Wikipedia. Okay, I'm not saying don't use Wikipedia anymore, but look at how they've painted out people in the movement. Go look up Andrew Wakefield on Wikipedia. Go look up any doctor that has spoken out against Big Pharma and how they are portrayed on information sites on people. Like their biographies that are being written by these people that have been bought. Look at how they're being portrayed. We have never been portrayed properly and responsibly. And I've forever said, go rally against, do whatever you think and feel is best. But we have to also hold the media accountable all the time. And I'm glad that more often now we're seeing some journalists that are actually taking the time to go out to these things and getting and interviewing these parents themselves. But what's happening to them? Their passes are being taken away. They're likely going to risk getting fired. I love that Cernovich went out there or am I saying his last name right? Cernovich. Finally, I was like, okay, we need more of these people that have these platforms to showcase what's actually happening. And I'm glad he went out there and saw with his own eyes and he said in his blogs, he met over 100 parents, talked to them that they were normal people, So, what's it going to take, though? We still are up against the beast. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I feel like so I need a break some days. But we're up against a beast, right? And right now, everybody, here's what's happening. We are, sorry, I'm missing some of these comments. How is it legal for them to mandate liability? Yeah, no, it's definitely not legal for them to do that. We've always been crazy anti-vaxxers. I think you become crazy when you walk away from a cult. The cult will call you crazy. It is a cult. It's definitely a cult to believe this. That's why when I posted up with that mom, once again, I was not mom shaming. I will only ever put up public posts for people that will be the first to yell out mom shaming while simultaneously shaming moms who just don't do what they do. And once again, it's only mom shaming if you are speaking out against what the mainstream media is saying. Did you know that you can mom shame all you want as long as it's by the mainstream media standards? And then you can mom shame all you want. But if you are speaking the opposite of what the media is telling you, then you're mom shaming. It's really sick, isn't it? I had to sit in some prayer, honestly, before this live, because there is a lot of it, minus the spiritual warfare that we're already all going through. There is a lot of drama that is happening even within the movement. This is normal, not that it, how do I say this? Not that it's normal. You can't expect that there won't be issues, okay, within movements. It's gonna happen. Like I am a pastor's daughter, and so this means that I grew up in the church, not just a church. I grew up in multiple churches because every 5 years, my father, with his organization, he would have to transfer to different churches. So like from childhood, I have witnessed, okay, I have met too many people within churches, okay, forget movements like this, but within churches and I've met way too many leaders to know and understand that human beings are capable of human error and corruption. I have never put my faith in people because people will always fail you. But at the same time, I understand that if you feel like you've been failed or betrayed by the church and that has cut ties with not just the church, but your personal relationship with your Savior, then ultimately your problem was never with your Savior. Your problem was with people, was with broken people. This is something that a lot of us who grew up with this environment had to understand, okay? As a child, I was always taught that you have to, respect authority to a point, but if ever anybody is making you feel stupid for asking a question, that they're going to, pounce on you, that they resort to bullying tactics, that those are red flags, and you need to step back and use what is called discernment. It's called having discernment, where a lot of people, what is discernment? Well, it's the ability to obtain perceptions, sharp perceptions, or to judge well. In the case of judgment, discernment can be psychological or it can be moral. And within judgment, discernment involves going past the perception of something and making nuanced judgments about its about its qualities or properties. So this is not to say don't trust people, because then you also can't live your life like not trusting anybody because you've been so burned, But we are called to as a Christian, I can only speak for, we're only called to follow him. We're not called to follow people, because people will fail you. They will always fail you, okay? Called to follow him. That means him. That doesn't mean pastors. That doesn't mean self-proclaimed leaders. None of that. But here's where I'm taking issue is when I tell people to take charge of their own lives. The only people that will be offended by this are people who have been led astray repeatedly and are the people that are depending on the herd to continue their agendas and keep their lifestyles going, okay? Those people will be the first to gawk and roll their eyes at the notion that people should be taking charge of their own lives. Okay? Because I don't want to go there. I don't want to lower myself and go there. If you are amongst the many in my inbox on both Facebook and Instagram that have been personally victimized by somebody, okay? This is how you have to go about things. If you've been personally victimized by somebody, first of all, you need to go to that person directly. We have to remember how to be human beings again. Okay? This is why I keep my circle very, very small. I have about 3 friends in my life. 3 friends that I know that I can sit with, I can talk to, I can call, that are not recording my conversations, that are not screenshotting what I'm saying to them, that they are listening to me. And not only that, if they feel, if ever, that they've got an issue or that they didn't understand something, they go directly to me. They do not get 10 other people involved, have to gather people they will go directly to me because that is the easiest way to just squash a problem. I have all of 3 friends in my life, okay? Real friends. You have to go to that person directly. If you're in my inbox, it's likely because you have gone to this person directly and you've either been blocked, deleted, your problems have been, okay, and I understand that. Second, if you've already gone to that person directly, is biblically, this is what Matthew 15, right? Go to the source. If that person is still not listening to you or not wanting to have a conversation with you, what's the second thing? Bring a witness, right? You bring a witness with you and you try to have this conversation again. If you are ignored for the second time, what is the third? Involve leadership. If right now, this is the problem that we're having right now, I don't want to be a leader. And I never have. Are you listening? I don't want to be a leader, and I never have. My platform and the start of all of this was always to empower other people to take the reins on their own lives. I want to give information if I have it, and I want you to feel empowered and go and lead your own life. And I don't like that. I don't like that I'm being, you have these people, they're looking to you. I'm a broken person. There's more to me. There's more to Natalia than this, okay? There's more to me. There's more to this life. And while I appreciate the trust and you're ultimately doing yourself the biggest disservice, I promise you. You are doing yourself the biggest disservice if you are going to rely on other people to make that call for you. And what's really unfortunate right now is that many people have already been burned by an industry. We can all attest to that. That's what we all have in common. We all have this one thing in common, which is that we've been so burned and betrayed by an industry, okay? Growing up, being taught that you can't question the white coats, you can't question the person with the clipboard, the person with the degree. You can question that person with the degree if they ultimately turn around and question the same system too. Then they are going to be slandered and victim, you know what I mean, like villainized. But we've already been burned. And so we're looking to each other, Okay, we're looking to each other. We're like, oh my gosh, because we have all of this in common. And that is what's sad about this, is that we forget that there is always going to be, no matter what circle you're in life, there's always going to be somebody or multiple people that will see a situation and will try to take advantage of those that have already been victimized, that have already been. So this is the part that really sucks here. And I am talking to all of you in my inbox right now that you're feeling so afraid to speak out and share your story. It's like one big hashtag Me Too movement that won't take place because you're afraid that people are going to just pounce on you because of this cult-like following, this mentality of others. And that really, really hurts. That sucks. But then again, your stories are not my stories to tell. You hear me? I don't want to sound insensitive right now if you think that I'm going to back you, because I feel bad for you. But your stories are not my stories to share. If and when I am personally victimized by somebody, I have always gone directly to the source. That's why I'm called confrontational. People will call me, oh, she's so confrontational. Do you notice that it's always the passive-aggressive people? It's always the passive-aggressive people in our lives, right, that don't like confrontation. But these passive-aggressive people end up being the most confrontational people that I've ever met, because they go around people, they have to do the gossiping thing, they make it worse. They make it worse so that when the grapevine trickles in and hits you with the news, what do? You just go directly to them. And what do you come off as? Confrontational. Oh my gosh, she's so confrontational. I don't know why she's so confrontational, but like all I did was tell 20 other people before just asking her directly, you know? It's just annoying at this point. It's not my problem because I've never dealt in this way. I have just gone directly to people who have done things to me personally. If it's personal, then I've gone to them directly. Okay? There has to be a step 2, 3 where it's not your problem anymore, it's God's problem. Right? Like if they don't want to resolve anything, if they don't want to settle, that can't be your problem anymore. What good is it for me to now back you and share your personal victimized stories when you don't want to come out and share them yourself? What am I going to look like? What am I going to look? Why would I do that? And so don't take this in a way that I'm not on your side. I'm not going to support you. Like, I'm sorry, you guys, but the first person through the wall gets the bloody nose, right? That's why nobody wants to be the first. That's why it's hard to put your face out. It's hard to put your face out there and present yourself accordingly. Nobody wants to be that first person. All I ask is that when people do start coming out and coming forward, you have to listen. And you have to use discernment. We went over the definition of discernment 20 minutes ago. You have to listen. You can always come and vent to me and all of that. I will always have it out for one person in particular, and that is Lorena. Because that one, she constantly puts herself out there, and she's a public figure, and, she's asking for it a little bit. The Black Widow. And that's kind of what I need to say about that. But I feel terrible for you. I feel terrible for you, and that's the most I can do for you right now is feel really bad. But unless you put your story out there, it's going to be this big back and forth of like vague post after vague post. You know what I mean? It is just not, and that's why I had to pray over it. I was like, these are not my stories to tell. They're terrible stories. but they're not my stories to tell. And I would just end up looking like it would just be deflecting once again from this movement. How do you go the distance in something like this and continue to remain effective and continue to grow? And by grow, I also mean grow as a person, okay? The people that you love and care for the most in your life, from what I've learned by growing up in churches, the people you love and care for the most will be the first to bite you. They will bite you first. I mean, guys, if they did it to Jesus, what more you, right? I mean, they did it to him. So right now, for me, moving forward in this movement, what's happening? What's happening? It's a trickle effect. Back when they were initially passing off all of these laws, when you look at American history, what state had it going on back then? Massachusetts, right? And specifically in Massachusetts, Boston was where a lot of stuff was. That was their capital back then. That's where like a lot of the stuff went on, panned out. Where do you think all the news was hitting and coming from? Okay, people in the rural parts of America, like they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know about the things being passed and all that. That was the focus area. What are our focus areas right now in this progressive climate that we're in? California, New York, and Florida. These are the three most influential states, and they're influential because that is just for whatever reason where most of the media, most of the news is coming from. Whatever is, that's why a lot of us, the rest of us are sitting back and we are paying attention to these states because it's a trickle effect. What happens in these states seeps its way into the rest of the country. And it's always these three states. That's why that meme of like the Harry Potter with like the three kids, you know, why whenever something happens, it's always you three. That's how it is. And so we have to expect what's going on. We have to use discernment. We have to say, okay, here's what California did. Here's what worked. Here's what didn't work. And here is what we need to do moving forward. I'm going to be the bearer of bad news here. Everything is going to be slowly taken away. Everything is going to be slowly taken away. After I do this, because I have no life and my life is consumed by this, I'm going to do a chat that I'll save to my stories on the eye ointment thing, because many of you have seen the horrendous freaking pictures that how dare they? They're testing us. They're testing the public reaction with things like this, okay? We don't like it. We don't like it. It's barbaric. It looks barbaric. It looks like something that a parent should have a choice in. Like, this is what I've never understood. It shouldn't take your religious beliefs. It shouldn't take a medical exemption. It should just be your God-given human right to say, I do not want a procedure that comes with risks. I'm going to take my chances doing this. Like the philosophical and personal thing, when that was pulled, should have like goosebumped the entire populace. It should have made the hairs on the back of your neck stand. It shouldn't have taken this. It shouldn't have gotten to the point where children who've already been put through the fire, who've already been hurt, some have died, so that their siblings could get medical exemptions, and now those are the very vulnerable. Those are the kids that we're going after, okay? It shouldn't have ever gotten to this point. That's where we're at. So knowing now that you are living in crazy town where it is run by actual psychopaths and evil, okay? What are you gonna do for your family? I want to tell you this, though. Don't take my word for it. Whatever. Do what you want to do. But if you want my opinion, which I'm assuming is why you're on this live, you want my opinion on something. Do not let any person tell you that by you leaving and fleeing a very thick agenda in a place, the agenda's everywhere, but if you're going to, don't let anybody tell you that that's not being brave. Do you hear me? Don't let anybody tell you that by you putting your family first, that you are acting like a coward. I'm not going to say it in that way, but like those people can, you know what, that think that way, okay? Where people are asking me, well, then who do I trust? Who do I donate to? What should I do? Oh my gosh, you have been betrayed by somebody, okay? Somebody has stolen from you, and your first, no offense, guys, but your first thing is to get on social media and inbox somebody, another stranger, and ask them where you should put your money? Are you... What? I can show you where I put my money. That's the most I can do. But I'm not even going to go there with you, okay? I can show you, well, hey, look, I like to donate to this, .orgs and whatever, because that's what I like. That's where I see that they're putting in good work and they're... But you're getting in here, you're asking like, you know what I mean? What? Somebody betrayed your trust and you're like now asking, what? You need... We have to have goals, I feel. We have to have goals. Right now, you want my personal goals in life? Have you seen what I've been posting up? Have you seen what I've been, like, I got people asking me about what they think, what they should be doing next for their families, and they're living in states like California, and I'm over here going, I'm looking up black market placentas right now. That's like, you're kind of asking, you're kind of asking the wrong person. I'm looking up some of that. And that I'm looking up the rabbit hole that is our water and how we've been lied to about our water. And it's deep. I'm on that. So I'm probably not going to be of much help to you right now. Is throwing $20 towards you fill in the blank going to be more beneficial to you today, or throwing $20 towards a book on being self-sufficient going to be more valuable to you? That's your call to make. That's totally your call to make. I'm not going to tell you where to spend your money. I don't need you in my inbox a month from now with the, oh my gosh, like this, did you hear about this? And that they fell out. Like, no, I don't want part of that. Right now, personally, if you want my opinion, your money is best spent, because my money is best spent. I'm going to talk for myself so I don't get misquoted here. Personally, my money and my time is best spent focusing on my immediate family and retraining and deprogramming from all the things that I was taught, and now starting to take things upon myself and like actually starting to take some of my own damn advice. That's where like my money is best spent right now. If you want to know, okay? I got to learn about some things to be self-sufficient. That's what's going to improve my life right now. I know that's probably not the answer that you wanted to hear, because it is easy to sit back and not do anything. It is easy to sit back and judge others who are, whether you like their style or methods or not, whatever. That's easy to do. It's hard. It's harder to take control of your own life. And we are all a bunch of right now just very conflicted, messed up human beings that are in denial that we were lied to for so long. That's what's going on. That's what's going on here. So we got to adult up a little bit. And if you're going to continue following along, not following me, like don't follow me, but if you're going to follow along, you are about to see a lot of failure coming up, okay? I'm going to be attempting a lot of things, failing miserably. And I have to prepare myself that I am going to fall flat on my face, and half of it is going to be out there for people to see. That's going to be happening. I'm a failed person. I don't know what possesses me to share my failures. Maybe because I feel like it will help boost and uplift others to trying things out and not being afraid to fail. Because you have to know that you can log off any of this stuff. None of this matters. Especially if you've got kids, you've got babies that they depend on you. They don't care about drama in your inbox. Are you kidding me? They don't care. They care about like you as their mom and you as their dad. And that's all they care about. None of the like little things even matter to them, okay? And just as a freaking reminder here, all of this is supposed to be for the children. It's supposed to be for them. So there's that. You're not even called to be the hero in your kid's life. I hate to break it to you. Society has lied to you and told you. How many people have gotten into just fights over nothing? How many of you had parents when you were a teenager that spent months and months fighting over finances, and half the time it was because they didn't have money saved up for you to go to one of these indoctrination centers, these institutions, when that was what the big fight was. That everything in society told your parents that they were failing because they didn't have an extra 40 grand set aside by the time you graduated high school to now pick one of these other centers that's going to fail you. How many marriages have been destroyed over lies from society? When I was upset and heartbroken that my parents didn't want to co-sign for me or that they didn't save up anything for me, when I was a kid, my dad just had to look at me and tell me, you know what? We had you. We've kept you clothed. We've put a roof over your head. We've kept your belly full. We have already done over 100% of what is required of us to raising up you children. We are in a time right now, and he's like, this is not the end all, Natalia. We're in a time right now where all of society around us has been convinced that unless you go to one of these places and get a degree from one of these places, that you're gonna have any value in your life. That is a lie. That is a lie. And he was like, and I'm not going to add that additional burden and stress on myself. I've got already enough things going on in life. That I will be, if I'm going to now get down on myself one more thing that society is going to tell me I'm failing at, when I'm not failing, that is a lie. And it took me years to realize that he was right. Of course, I was just bitter about it because all my friends were off going on, But that's not life. If you're sitting back thinking that you're ill-equipped and you got to now save and set aside, are you kidding me? You guys remember what happened when the market just crashed? You could lose everything. How many people in your life do you have to look at their story? That's why I'm always saying look to the older people. They have stories to share. That doesn't mean go about the way that they conducted themselves. That doesn't mean to do everything that they say, but listen to their stories, okay? I saw 60-year-olds lose everything in their 60s. 50-year-olds lose everything in their 50s. It's not even worth it. What are you going to do? And then I've met older people that were like, you know what? You can be amazing at business. You can have everything saved up and everything. But if your kids are also not business minded and business savvy, they will lose it all. They will squander everything you've worked hard for. So why are you beating yourself up right now? burdening yourself that literally in the future your kid, and you love your kids, but your kid could grow up to become a human being that is capable of corruption and evil and capable of making mistakes, that they will squander everything like that. Everything you worked so hard for. So why are we doing this to ourselves? This added additional pressure on yourself is just, it's sad to me. And it's really heartbreaking to me, you guys. You know, you understand this is why look to who you want, admire who you want, by all means. But do you realize this is why so many people who write books before they're 30 years old end up retracting half of their statements in their 40s and 50s? They end up taking back a lot of stuff because they're still... When I look to older people for advice, and I take notes all the time, I journal, I write things down, the 5 things that are constantly repeated by these older people in my life that just are out there, want to give you this advice, right? Number 1, you can't ever rewind the clock. You're not going to be able to ever rewind the clock of your life, okay? 2, life never gets easier. It's never going to get easier. You have to accept that life comes with suffering. 3, and because the older people that I go to for my advice just so happen to always be a part of the church and churches because that's how I grew up, Christians will break your heart. That was a big thing that I continuously heard. A great deal of what you are certain about now, you're going to question later on in life. I've been told that by multiple elders. And the commitments that you make in your 20s will be severely tested in your early 30s especially, and then throughout your life. How many of you are going through this right now? Okay? I'm telling you, this is also why back then the rabbis and the churches, they weren't even considered somebody to go to for advice until they were past a certain age. You had to be like past 30 something to even give out advice back then. I'm not saying that if you're in your 20s you can't give out advice. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm just saying you got to give things time because people change their tune. They change their tune all the time. All the time. These are things I've learned in life. People are going to break your heart, and not just Christians, right? People will break your heart. Those closest to you are going to break your heart. But on the bright side, we do have instruments around us. We have resources that we can tap into to definitely hold others accountable. We have that. So in moving forward, use discernment. Just use discernment. Once again, use that gut instinct, that intuition that society lied to you about, that told you that doesn't matter because if you feel it in your gut but somebody in a white coat tells you the opposite, then your gut is wrong. Don't follow your the same rule applies, guys. Same thing applies to dealing with other people outside of the medical industry. That's it. Just use discernment. Understand that you're also dealing with somebody who is not perfect in any case and scenario. Okay? And by all means, do not take this as don't go to people that are younger than 30. Clearly, I'm like, I like a lot of people that are considered leaders that are in their young 20s, but mark my words, they will retract on a lot of stuff that they say in their 30s and 40s, and then you can't fault them for that because they're still living it. They're still currently going through it. And I feel like the younger people that listen in have to know that. They have to be able to see things, and not so much see things for what they are, but take a step back and understand that this is a beast we're up against. This is a machine. Okay? It's a big, evil, terrible, dark, powerful machine. You can only control so much. You can only control what's in front of you at this point in time in your life, And if you are somebody who has faith, you know that you cannot fail with his guidance. You cannot fail. So, but there's also that you probably shouldn't take on more than, you know what I mean? If something inside of you is telling you, don't go there, don't touch that, just stay away from that, maybe follow it. Maybe follow it, especially if your instinct has proven right in the past. Okay? Yeah, I love that she's saying this here. We're constantly evolving, and that's a good thing. But you have to also take and heed warnings and just, okay, sit back. Okay? Because there is more to life than this movement. We have to adapt this attitude that there's more to life than all of this, you guys. If not, you're going to burn out. Okay? People thoroughly committed to keeping their blinders on, all right? To just keeping their blinders on, they are heading towards a colossal burnout. If you are not able to rest, the string of your bow is going to snap, and you are going to be of no earthly good. You're going to be of no earthly good. And I'm saying this to myself. All right? You'll be useless. You'll be useless. Work with what's before you. Take warnings and just, okay, set that aside. Okay, got it. Thank you. I will heed that. I will consider that. I will not gaslight you, but that's also not my battle. That sounds like it's your battle. But I will definitely take that into consideration. Right? I am so sorry if you were looking to other people to fight your battles for you. It's not going to happen on this platform, because if I even dare step foot into that arena, it will only be a matter of time before somebody wants to pull up something on me, because I'm not perfect. I mean, I'm nowhere near, sorry, see there, I'm nowhere near any of that stuff. I mean, there's really not, there's really nothing there, actually, but anyways, don't let people insult your intelligence either, okay? You see something for what it is, and don't let somebody put something in front of your face and like it's very insulting to your intelligence. Don't do that either. So let me prep for my next talk, because I want to do this whole I thing. But most of the talk, guys, is going to be about that you are going to a place like a hospital. What am I hiding? Really? Well, what do you want to know? What do you want to know? What do you got? No, but a lot of these hospital talks, right? If I go into the placenta talk, for instance, and then if I go into this eye thing, gosh, a lot of it, you guys, goes back to the fact that like a hospital is a business. If we all start treating hospitals for what they are, which is a big business that has the right to refuse service, okay? If you're in a hospital, you're taking up a room. Imagine this is who you are. If you are already an anti-vaxxer, if you're already woke and you prefer the more holistic approach, but you still wind up in hospitals because for whatever reason you feel safer there and you feel like you can trust hospitals, I have really bad news for you. Imagine then, because I feel like most of us women on here have worked in the restaurant business. If you've worked in the restaurant business, I mean, throw up a heart or something. A lot of us have done these kind of jobs, okay? There we go. There's a lot of us. This is who an anti-vaxxer is in a hospital. An analogy for you, if I may. You are that person that goes to a restaurant, if you're woke, And first of all, you bring in your own bottled water. Okay, imagine being a server and you only have 6 tables for the night. You got 6, it's a Friday night too. So you need to make your money. Well, the anti-vaxxer is the person that comes to sit in the booth. Okay, in the booth. You get 6 tables and you get 1 booth. And that booth is your money-making booth, right? But they sit at your table, at your booth. They first of all bring their own water. Okay, so you're going, mm-hmm. Then they got 1,000,001 requests when it comes to the one menu item, right? They got to ask you about all of the things. They got a list of all the requests. And if it's an anti-vaxxer who prefers the holistic approach, their request list has to boil down. It's about now, is this organic? Who do you source? Like, which farm do you use? What local farm are you guys at? Mm-hmm. Who sources the tomatoes? So now this person has taken up so much time. And how do servers make their money? Upsells, right? How do you make your money? It doesn't matter if they were the nicest couple, it's the bill. At the end of the day, 18%, if they're decent, that is what you're going to make. So the 1 hour long conversation does not do you any good. Like, you like them. But can we talk the next time you guys come in, preferably on a lunch shift, because it's a Friday night. It's a Friday night. And you brought your own water. Why did you bring your own water? Because water everywhere is poison, right? And you only trust your filtration system at home because you know that it has removed all the bad minerals. It's kept in like the good ones. Like, you've done your... Guys, that's who you are in a hospital. That is who you are in the hospital. Have you seen hospital bills? I have. I know that hospitals, why would they push for a cesarean? Why are they happier for it? You have hospitals that have 50% cesarean rates, and you have people that never call to question. You know you can call your hospitals, right? You know you can call and find out their C-section rates. You know what a 50% C-section rate means to me if I'm a new first-time mom? That means that there's a 50% chance that if I go to this hospital to have my baby, I will get a C-section. Like, it's going to end in a C-section. And you still have so many people that do not realize, like, every cataclysmic event that's happening in their mind, things that can go wrong, are going wrong because you're there in the first place. You're there in the first place. I'm not judging you because I had to learn this twice over. Twice over. They kick me out of hospitals. Why? They can't upsell me for shit. They can't even convince me to put my baby under a bee light because they have jaundice. Do you know all my babies had jaundice? Because that's a thing. Because I know what jaundice looks like on a hospital bill. And I was the mom that was like, no, I'm going to just breastfeed them here by this window with sunlight coming in. And guess what? They miraculously don't have jaundice. Now, I'm not coming on here telling you to do exactly what I did. I get that in some cases, jaundice is a little more serious. What if you're giving birth in December? There's no sunlight. But just, make your own. You do it. You do what you want to do. But I happen to know that jaundice is, while it is a thing, it's also a big-time moneymaker. I know that a vaginal birth, and I can only go by the state I know of Nevada pricing and California pricing. I know that a vaginal birth is only about $7,000 to have natural birth, but I know that a C-section is upwards of $40,000. It's a no-brainer. And forget that, like the recovery on a C-section. Like, I can see these things pile up. So why would insurance not want to insure you to have a home birth and go things the natural way? Why would they do that when out of pocket you can find a midwife that's anywhere between $3,500 to $7,000? Why won't insurance want to cover that for you? It's not because they think it's dangerous to have a baby at home. It's a business. When you start viewing this place as a business, a filthy business. When I had that post on the MRSA, that 98% of hospital staff has MRSA in their NARS, do you know how many comments came in of like, yes, My baby got MRSA. Oh my gosh, I was showering in the hospital after giving birth and I think I just shaved and I ended up getting diagnosed with it. Yes, because you are literally giving birth in like the dirtiest place. You're giving birth in the dirtiest place. Why are they demonizing home births? Why are some states actually saying that midwives can't practice there? Come on, guys. It's nothing to do with that first of all, no one cares that's in charge. They don't care about public health and safety. No one cares. They're going after vaping right now. Vaping. But cigarette smoking is still legal, last I checked. Last I checked, people are going to poison themselves if they want to poison themselves. And not that we should just let them, but since when have they ever cared about public health? So when you view it as that, it's going to make life a little easier. Start viewing yourself that is woke in a hospital as the ladies in the Red Hat Society, right? That come into the restaurant that bring in their own Crystal Light. Crystal Light's terrible, by the way. But those people. I'll have a water, but I'm going to mix it with my own lemonade packets. You might as well have brought, why did you come to the restaurant? You know what I mean? That's the response. And I don't want to be insensitive with that, but when people complain about their hospital experiences, my initial reaction is, why'd you even go then? You know that they do that there. You know that now they're pushing these things on you there. They're not going to put this thing in your baby's eyeball because they genuinely care about the baby. If they did, they would test you first with the STD. So this is going to be interesting to me. I know you guys can watch these lives and take it for what it is, but when I do these talks, I got to now come from a place of so the eye ointment, and the reason that they use this eye ointment is because I'm going to have to do that. I have to mentally prepare myself to do this right now. Because God forbid I tell parents, you know what also cures any kind of antibacteria? Your breast milk. But if I tell mothers that they need to start, if they're worried about it, if maybe they, for whatever reason, have chlamydia and they've been lying to their partner and they don't want to expose that, they don't want it to be like Jerry Springer at the hospital, but they know in the back of their head, my baby might have caught something in the vaginal canal. They might have caught something because I didn't want to really talk about it. Don't shame me. Well, listen, lady. This stuff is powerful stuff. It kills almost all bacteria, if not more, okay? Scientists can't even figure out breast milk. That's how powerful this stuff is. But I can't be that person. So now I have to get to I have to get to a proper state here in order to teach this next lesson, because so much of me wants to be you chose to give birth at a place that has a quota. These people have quotas. They work with insurance companies. There's a $35 charge to skin with your own baby, okay? The placenta scam. Let me tell you what, because I want to talk about this one. Because do you know how much they can sell your placenta for? But they're telling you it's a biohazard to get your placenta out of there. They're like, it's a biohazard. And do you guys know there's this stuff on the black market? You know what? Let me try to get professional on here, though, and do this the right way before going down a bunch of I want to keep saying black holes, rabbit holes with people. This is my initial Start viewing it as a business. It's a business. It's a for-profit business. You're the product. Okay? Your baby's the product. You probably didn't want to hear that, but I gotta compose myself. We'll chat soon, guys. Bye.